Welcome back to our robot arm still life. This looks like a plate of cylinders. What I did really simply was drew a chain of Z-spheres and then made them into adaptive skins. Some of these you may actually use as tubes, but some of them we're just going to use as guidelines for a curve. So for example, for this guy, let's say we're going to use this for a guideline for a curve. Let's go to our brush, insert mesh curve. And let's make sure we have, let's say, this hose. Which one? I think it's this one. Let's make our brush size nice and small. I hit the O key so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to draw a curve from here to here. And it says that wonderful thing to me. So let's just go back to our multiple subdivision method. I had no idea it had subdivision on it. Now let's try it again. There we go. It's going to take it. Wow, it's a big curve. So let's undo that. Apparently this is much bigger than I thought. So let's now before I do anything, let's actually go to the stroke palette here. Let's make sure. See, it's on the snap. I don't want it to be on snap. So now let's bring our brush size down a little bit here, and just draw a curve again. Okay, that's better. As you can see, it kind of ran off the edge here a little bit, and that's okay. We're going to smooth this curve out. I think as early in this training, I was fighting this for a while, and then I remembered that the smooth key existed, and felt a little silly after that. I'm gonna hit the O key so I can see. I want to make sure that the coupling, the little thing that the coupling, the thing that actually goes into the cylinder is visible, because we want to be able to see that. Okay, and this has moved, so we're going to move this in here a little bit. Kind of confused as to why it's out here, but it's no big deal. I'm just going to grab everything and move it in. Don't need to see it really. Now you can see how this is all curled up. Well, let's go up to our stroke palette and go to our smooth and just start smoothing it, and then I'll touch that and see it update pretty quickly. I mean, and let's just make sure. So maybe I'll go back to that stroke and smooth it one more time. Smooth. There we go. So now it's a nice little wire. You know, we could put some kinks in it, but I just changed my brush size, so I'm not going to touch it now. Now let's go up to stroke and delete it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to see how this Z-sphere is in different groups based on the Z-spheres. So I'm just going to unmask everything, go to auto group, and then delete the hidden Z-sphere chain. So now we have a pipe. Now we have a little wire coming down here. And now that's regular, I can, if I want to, just go in and kind of nudge it around a little bit here to kind of give it a little bit more of a little bit more flexibility. Let's bring this up a little bit and rotate it, not rotate it, but give it a little bit of a crink. There we go, a little better, right? So let's go back to our brush, insert, let's go back to our curve again, and we'll just do the same thing. Now I'm not going to do this 1,000 times while you watch, but it's good to kind of get used to this. Let's go to my transparency again so I can see it. And let's select this, let's select this guy. And let's just draw a curve. How many times I can do that? Okay, now I can do it because it had subdivision levels on it. Okay, now you see how that does not seem to actually link to that, because I guess this other mesh was in the way. I don't know. It shouldn't really be doing that. It should only go to the mesh that I have. So now I'm going to have to go up here and isolate this. So now it has no choice but to follow the mesh. Okay, let's just make sure that stroke is not on snap. It's not. Okay, good. Now I'm just going to do it one more time here. Lovely. And knock down the draw size a little bit. And now let's bring everything back again. Alright, so now we can see what we're looking at here. Go out of transparency mode so I can get a better glimpse of what seems to be the situation. There, that's pretty basic, pretty good. Go up to stroke and delete. Do the same thing as before, right? I'm going to go to auto groups, get rid of the Z-sphere chain, and we're there, right? So let's go back to this one. Just have this is an actual Z-sphere chain as well. I had a duplicate made, so I can go back to that. Okay, and that's just because in case it's actually not this is not a skin. This is actually a Z-sphere. But so if I wanted to make some Z-spheres and move them around, I could. Okay, so got a few wires coming in here. We could also, of course, make anything else. Like for example, let's go to brush, insert mesh, and let's go to that curve again. But this time, let's go to something like 4 wires. Or I can go to the 2-wire short, but that's got a little thing at the base, so let's go to 4 wires. Okay, and once again, I'm going to isolate whatever I'm looking at here, which is this guy. And I'm just going to draw it right on here. Doesn't really matter, because once we're done with it, we can move it around. And I want to make this bigger, so I'm going to bring my draw size up and then make this much bigger. You see? And I can just move this brush around if I want to, just to kind of give it a different look, so when I put this elsewhere, it won't look like it's the same, the same situation there. Okay, wire, great, stroke, delete. Let's bring back everything. Okay, and let's unmask the thing here. Actually, let's leave it masked, and let's unmask it, and we'll go to group auto groups. And if I go to my polyframe, you'll see I have a bunch of crazy things. So let's just let's bring this back, and let's group visible. That's all one thing. And now I'll bring that back. So now we have 2 separate groups. Okay, and now I'm just going to go down here to where is it? Split. Go to group split. So now I have the 2 separate pieces, and I can just move this guy around to a different place, and put him wherever I see fit to do so. So some wires going that way. Make sure that the go to move brush and just make sure that this actually goes into the ground. The cylinder, the plate in our in our robot still life. Okay, so little things like that, little touches here and there will kind of just make it look like there's stuff going on in there. 1 wire, 2 wires, however many wires you think, and just a bunch of little things to kind of make it look like there's stuff happening. So that's about it. I'm going to maybe I'll just put a couple of things, like for example right here where it connects here. I'm going to grab this cylinder. There are no subdivisions on here, so I can use an insert mesh brush without being told that I can't, which bums me out when it does. I'm going to create this little circuit box and just draw a circuit box in right there, and then rotate it. And rotate it again, and then move it. One day, transpose tool. One day I will learn how to use you well, but not today. It's actually kind of a shame how bad I am at using the transpose tool. Think about how much more time I'd have to spend making cylinders if I could do this faster. The mind reels. And there we go. Oh, I thought it was there. Oh, so close. Look at this. It's just not going to go for me, is it? Alright. And then I'll just get a little rotation on here. A triumph. An absolute triumph. Now it's actually kind of in there. It's on an angle. It's a little bit of a wacky shack circuit box. There you go. A little better. In any case, that's the idea. I'm just going to put some tubes and wires in there, and maybe even keep some of the Z-sphere tubes around. Who knows? And we're done our upper arm. I might place a couple little pieces on here, like I said before. Like for example, right here, might as well go to brush, insert, machine parts, and I'm going to put something like a little bit of a, because again, this is actually the arm above. This is above the big boy. So this might need to be, it needs to vent some heat from down there, So over here as well. Let's see if I can find it in here. The plate in my still life. Let's go back to my brush and bring one more of those guys in here, a bigger one, because this is the big plate in the still life. All right, cool. So little things make it look fancy. So we have the arm coming to this little plate, and if again to remind you where we're going with this, because it might look a little weird right now, it does to me, but it's part of this larger whole. So you see, it's for a good cause. It's for the cause of an enormous forearm with 2 guns on it. So if that's not a good cause, I don't know what is. So in the next video, we're going to start with this giant boy right here. We're going to just grab a big cylinder and use that as our base and then start extracting our fool heads off. So I will see you in the next video.